Impatience. He tried to fulfill the promise by having Ishmael through Hagar. Genesis 16, 1 through 4. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had not been able to bear children for him, but she had an Egyptian servant named Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, the Lord has prevented me from having children. Go and sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can have children through her. And Abram agreed with Sarai's proposal. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, the Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abram as a wife. This happened 10 years after Abram had settled in the land of Canaan. So Abram had sexual relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. But when Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress, Sarai, with contempt. Genesis 16:15. So Hagar gave Abraham a son, and Abram named him Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. Impatience. What else did it reveal in him? Unbelief and doubt. Laughed at God's promise because it sounded impossible. Genesis 17:15 through 17 says, then God said to Abraham regarding Sarai, your wife, her name will no longer be Sarai. From now on, her name will be Sarah. And I will bless her and give you a son from her. Yes, I will bless her richly, and she will become the mother of many nations. Kings of nations will be among her descendants. Then Abraham bowed down to the ground, but he laughed to himself in disbelief. How could I become a father at the age of 100? He thought. And how can Sarah have a baby when she's 90 years old? And then Sarah does the same thing. She laughs in Genesis 18:12. So she laughed silently to herself and said, how could a worn-out woman like me enjoy such pleasure, especially when my master, my husband, is so old? Then the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, can an old woman like me have a baby? Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return about this time next year, and Sarah will have a son. Come on, you got to believe, even though it sounds impossible. It might seem impossible, but if you're in an impossible situation, it's the opportunity for people to see God move. I thought it was impossible when God told me that I was going to be a pastor. I literally thought it was impossible. I was like her laughing like, there's no way. I remember 2012, and I remember I threw a big party the night before in San Bernardino. If you're there, hope you're with Jesus now. Those kids. I threw a big party, a big one. I had 160 acres of land, and I threw a big party there. And in that party, I got in an altercation with a guy. Long story short, I come from a life of generational curses, of violence, murder, and things like that. And the altercation went to a point where I wanted to take the person's life, and I did everything I could to do that. And thank God I had some decent friends around me that grabbed me, like multiple guys, and took away the gun, did all these things, took me in the hallway, in the room, and helped de-escalate everything. The next morning, after that party, I wake up, and God shows me, and this was when I would go see Pastor Marco at the Sierra Way campus, and God showed me a vision. And I didn't know what a vision was at that time. I just see myself preaching like fire on the stage, and Pastor Marco would be, in the name of, like just like, right? Like a general, like. And I remember seeing him in Sierra Way like that. Well, God showed me preaching like that on the stage. And this is 2012. Ain't nobody in my church going to the way either, just so you know at that time. And right away, I was like, there's no way that could be me. There's no way. There's no way I can do that. God, I literally wanted to and tried to the best of my ability to take this dude's life. And you're saying that you want me to be up there like Pastor Marco preaching? I wasn't having it. I smoked like 2 bowls. I ain't gonna lie. Some people were like, how did you know you were gonna be a pastor? I'm like, you sure you wanna hear the story?